on Baseball by the Art, and today's tips are for catchers. Now, today's tips involve pitch outs, and there's a lot of little things that go into this, and it's kind of funny when you work with kids who have never done pitch outs before, whether you're working with the pitchers or the catchers, mostly the pitchers. It's amazing how much trouble the pitchers have throwing a proper pitch out. And if you've done this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is almost comical to watch pitchers try pitch outs for the first time. You'd think it'd be easy, but it's not. Now, for catchers, there's a couple tips here so that you can improve your chances of doing it correctly. And of course, the goal is to get the guy trying to steal, mostly at second base. So if we do these little tips, it'll give us a better chance of getting the guy. Now, some of these are a little more advanced, so some of them might be for older kids who have to worry about some sneaky base runners, and we'll talk about that in a second here. But there are some tips. The first tip here, real simple, is if there is, let's say, a right-handed batter up. So the right-handed batter would be here. The first tip is, on a pitch out, of course, I'm going to be going in that direction. So it wouldn't make much sense for me to set up on the inside half of the plate if I'm going to have to get up and go in this direction. So the first basic tip is when you are going to do a pitch out, set up on the outer part of the plate. Now, as you get older, there are some runners who will pick that up, who will look in and see you go from here to over here. And that's just one of the few things that runners will look for to see if there is going to be a pitch out. But for young kids, base runners are not going to be that advanced. So the basic tip is when you're doing a pitch out, set up on the outside part of the plate. It makes your distance that you're going to have to travel to get there on a pitch out a little bit shorter. Now, the second tip is a little more advanced, but it also involves some sneaky base runners, okay? Base runners are looking for anything that is unusual. So let's say I'm facing in this direction here, pitcher's out that way, and I'm taking a peek into the coach to see, in many cases, what the pitch is going to be. Now, my normal procedure for this is I will just hang out, relax, look into the dugout. He gives me the sign, possibly, of whether a pitch out or a pitch or whatever. And then if it's a normal fastball or something, I get the sign, and I go out to the pitcher, and I give the sign, and I wait to see whether he wants that or not. But the point is, my hand, even though you can't see the signs from the camera angle, my hand is down there for a few seconds, okay? But what you'll often find is when a catcher looks over the dugout and sees the coach order a pitch out, you'll see the catcher do this. Now, to see how quick that was? If a base runner is watching, that is something that will tip him off and say, whoa, that's a little different here. That was a really quick sign. He didn't even give the pitcher a chance to say yes or no. Chances are good that's going to be a pitch out because pitchers are not going to tell the coach, no, I don't want to throw a pitch out. So the point is, if you are going to give a pitch out sign, make sure you keep your hand down there for the same amount of time that you would on a normal pitch. Otherwise, you may be tipping off to the base runner who's at first that a pitch out is coming. Now, the next tip here is how to actually step out and catch the pitch out. And catchers sometimes take their lives in their own hands in doing this here. In the Major League, sometimes you'll see catchers really exaggerate this, which is sometimes a little bit dangerous. But let me tell you the point here. One of the mistakes that catchers are going to make here is that when they step out on a pitch out to catch the ball, they step out straight to the side. So if I set up here and the pitch is thrown, I'll come out straight. Okay? Now when I catch, I of course have a long throw to second base. So the big tip in terms of stepping out is you don't want to step straight out to the side. You want to go out on an angle. So instead of coming this way, I will get the pitch out and step out here, okay? So that I'm actually catching the ball a little bit sooner, a few feet sooner, which means I can get rid of it sooner. Now, this is where I see some Major League catchers exaggerate and cheat a little too much. They really come out here, and of course, they're in danger if that batter does take a swing, because if I'm out in this area here and that batter swings, chances are good he may hit me. But a lot of those Major League catchers, they're tough guys, and they figure, you know what, I'm going to take the chance. I need to get the runner. And so you'll see them exaggerate on going out on that angle. So if you're a young catcher, take these tips into consideration. Make sure you're not tipping off the pitch out with a very quick sign to your pitcher. Make sure when you step out to the side, you're not going straight out, that you are actually stepping out on an angle and making that catch and throw to second base. Now there's a lot of other little things in there to quicken that process up, to actually the way you catch the ball and so forth, a few other things there, but those are the basic two things that I like to tell young catchers. Don't step straight to the side, and make sure you're not tipping off the pitches to the runner, and set up on the outer part of the plate to give yourself a little help there on the pitch outs. All right, folks, well, those are some tips here for pitch outs for catchers. There's other ones, like I said, and maybe there'll be some other videos in the future for more advanced stuff. But hope you learned something. Give it a shot. It may improve your chances of getting that guy trying to steal. Well, I'm Coach McCurry signing off. Have a good day, everybody.